patio. We're not best because we're biggest because we're best. Brooklyn Center, Burnsville, Minnetonka, or North St. Paul. Call any one of our 4 easy locations today.
You are watching WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul. All today's news with Mike Walcher, Debbie Ely. Dr. Walt Lyons has weather. Tom Hanneman has sports. And now, this is the Weekend Report.
Good afternoon, everyone. The cleanup has begun at Eagle Lake in northwest central Minnesota, where last night a deadly tornado ripped through a vacation area.
12 homes were damaged and 5 destroyed, and 7 people were injured. But worse, it killed a 47-year-old man from Carver. Denton Anderson was a teacher at Chaska High School. He was vacationing with his family when the twister picked up their lake home, hurling it more than 50 feet. His wife and 2 sons are hospitalized, along with a Battle Lake woman. Terry Sater went to Eagle Lake today.
It just came like you see a tidal wave, and that's it.
This is where Denton Anderson died, trying to shelter his family from the tornado. Splintered lumber and shattered glass are all that is left of his father-in-law's vacation home. The north shore of Eagle Lake is littered with bits and pieces of the Anderson summer vacation, a vacation turned nightmare.
They were all together, and they were in the middle of the road there with the debris all around them. The whole house was there. And then I would say probably was killed instantly. There was nothing we could do.
15-year-old Denise Anderson wasn't injured by the twisting winds that killed her father. Today, she searched for keepsakes and memories of happier times. Last night, Denise had left the cabin to talk with Jim Merton's daughter just before the storm hit.
She said the truck lifted up off the ground and she got nervous and she come around this way. Thank goodness she didn't come this way.
Merton says his family and Denise narrowly escaped death.
The boat flew up over the house, and then the walls came in. The daughter and I were trapped underneath that wall there, and my little guy the glass blew out of the sliding glass doors, and miraculously he wasn't hurt.
Denton Anderson's father-in-law, Ray Besky, says he's hurting inside. The storm devastated his family and leveled his lake home.
It's worse than I had imagined. I knew it was all gone, but I didn't think it'd look like this.
The Beskys say they doubt they'll rebuild their lake home because the bitter memories from the storm will make it hard to come back here for peace and quiet. With Bill Kruzkop, Terry Sater, WCCO Television News, Eagle Lake.
This afternoon, Denton Anderson's wife is in critical condition. His sons are both in stable condition. Preliminary damage estimates are more than $1 million.
2 people are dead, another injured following a light plane crash in Solon Springs, Wisconsin last night. The plane carrying the pilot and 2 passengers went down in a wooded area shortly after takeoff from Solon Springs Airport about 6 last night. A man and a woman died in the crash, and another person pulled from the wreckage is in critical condition in a Duluth burn unit. Officials say the victims are believed to be from the Shell Lake, Wisconsin area. Representatives of the FAA are investigating the cause of that plane crash. And in Burnsville last night, a 2-vehicle accident took the life of an Iowa man. 37-year-old Gary Sikora of Cedar Falls, Iowa, died when the car in which he was a passenger struck a guardrail, came to a halt, and then was hit by a semi. The driver of the car escaped from the vehicle just before the collision. The driver of the semi was treated and released at Fairview Ridges Hospital.
Almost 2,000 people have gone to local disaster aid centers seeking financial help after last month's storm. So many in Bloomington that disaster relief officials plan to keep the Bloomington Center open through Wednesday. Tomorrow, additional centers open at Washburn High in Minneapolis and Eisenhower Community Center in Hopkins. Disaster aid officials say already some applicants have received money for temporary housing. They say that grant money and small business loans will arrive later. Some of the federal disaster workers in town may soon be leaving. If the flooding damage in Chicago is declared a disaster, they will be needed in that city.
Well, certainly no disaster for the Minnesota Twins this weekend. They can do no wrong against the Seattle Mariners. The Twins are cleaning up on their Western Division rivals at the Metrodome. Tony Parker in the Sports Center now has more on this latest Twins victory. Tony?
And the latest, of course, is that nice score. Twins 5, Seattle 1. Frank Viola went 8 innings for his 14th win of the year. Jeff Reardon faced only 2 batters, getting the last 3 outs. The Twins have won 28 of their last 35 games now in the Metrodome. It's getting to the point where they can do no wrong in their home turf. The hitters are going after enemy pitchers before they can warm up. Again today, the game-winning hit came in the first inning on a Gaetti double, 1 of 6 by the Twins today, making the score 3-zip after 1. And you know, when things are going right, everything goes right. Like this impossible catch by Lombardozzi in short right field that would have dropped in for extra bases if he hadn't made it. In the ninth, Reardon relieves, 1 on, nobody out. A comebacker hits him, but no problem. It deflects to Gagne. He turns it into an easy double play. So the Twins are assured of no less than a 4-game lead in the American League West. With the final game of their homestand tomorrow night, we'll have more highlights later on in the sports.
All right. Thank you very much, Tony.
Still to come on the Weekend Report, a parade billed as the world's largest.
And we'll take you live to Lake Harriet, where just one Harmonic Convergence ceremony is now underway.
This is a hamburger, getting hard and dry, because it's cooking on a flame that's too high.
At Hearties, we make our quarter-pound hamburgers at a lower temperature, so they cook up thicker, succulent, full of natural juices, and the flavor doesn't go up in smoke. Hearties, we're out to win you over.
This is a utility pump from Knox, and this is the Atlantic Ocean. Let's see what happens when we put them together. Knox, you won't believe what you can do with our tools.
Come to the big pre-Labor Day sale, on now at Knox.
If you're going to buy a car or truck this weekend, don't shop anywhere but Royal Nissan. Through Monday only, $99 over. That's right, every Royal Nissan car and truck, $99 over invoice. No need to negotiate. Invoices clearly posted on the windshield, $99 over. Repeat, family cars, sports cars, and every truck, $99 over what we paid the factory. $99 over invoice, only at Royal Nissan, St. Paul's exclusive Nissan dealer.
It was 10 years ago today that the King passed away. Thousands of people across the country are paying tribute to Elvis Presley on this anniversary. Within the next few minutes, Twin Cityans will combine a tribute to the rock and roll star with a fundraiser for muscular dystrophy. That begins at 6 o'clock at the Mounds View Square Mall. This day also marks another worldwide event, the Harmonic Convergence.
For thousands, this date is so important that the future of the Earth depends on it. 4 years ago, the idea of Harmonic Convergence, a peaceful gathering, came to an art historian as he was driving down Wilshire Boulevard in California. It's based on several theories. The Aztec calendar, which shows this day as the peace god's second coming. The Mayan calendar, which says that today is a critical turning point between one phase and the next. And this is the first time in more than 23,000 years that the 9 planets are aligned in a configuration called a grand trine, when an unprecedented amount of energy converges on one place in harmony. All believers say they must take advantage of this to create a world of peace, and they're gathering around the world to do so. They have gathered here in the Twin Cities, and our Ava Thompson joins us from one of the locations. Ava?
Debbie, it is difficult to get an exact count on the number of Harmonic Convergence ceremonies taking place around the metro area. Many are being held privately. Others, like the one here at Lake Harriet Bandshell, are not so private. Tonight's concert theme is Peace in the Heart, Peace in the World. The event joins a list of others, including one that began as early as last night.
We call forth enlightenment to our sacred planet now.
About 200 people came to this farm in Invergrove Heights to observe Harmonic Convergence. According to the founding father of the 2-day world event, if enough people hold hands, hum, and chant, they can shift the world from a path of destruction onto a path of peace. This family came because they wanted to be with other people who share their hope for world harmony.
The energy, the empowerment that we get from this event of sharing it together will individually empower each one of us than to speak, to be fair, to point out injustice, to point out oppression.
And I think it will gradually change. Whether it will be real perceptible in a year or not, it may take many, many years.
If harmonic convergence fails, the theory says the end of the world could be as close as the year 2012. But many of the peace lovers here say they don't necessarily accept that deadline. They see these ceremonies, many of them Native American rituals, as just another way to relieve some of the daily stresses of life.
It's so relaxing, it's calm. I'm an Aquarian, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius is what they say, I guess.
Now, some of the people you saw there did spend last night on the farm despite the rains. The event ends tomorrow at sundown. Back to you, Mike and Debbie.
I guess all I can say is interesting. Thank you, Eva. Thousands of Twin Cities today helped celebrate the cultural diversity of the Minneapolis West Bank area. The annual West Bank Cedar Fest drew crowds of attractions such as dancers, live bands, and even a marching guitar orchestra. Orchestra organizers say the group is the world's largest, perhaps the only, walking guitar ensemble.
And another Minneapolis community came together today at 46th and Chicago Avenue. The annual McRae Park and Recreation Center Heyday festivities included barbecues, bake sales, and bluegrass music. And among the items still to come on the Weekend Report, Walt's look at the weather for the coming week, a check on how the strikers' fundraising effort is progressing, and the Dino Cicerelli Family Fun Day.
This is a big event, Sun Valley Waterbeds 12th birthday sale, with tremendous savings on everything in our showrooms across America. Take an overnight vacation in a gorgeous oak bed from $199, solid wood bookcase bed from $129, or a new black lacquer bed from $399. Plus, buy a designer comforter for $69 and we'll give you a satin sheet set free. Big savings for you. To celebrate our 12th birthday, now at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
The big one's back, the one you've waited for. 1.9% financing or rebates to $700. And here at Merritt Chevrolet, the 88s are on the way, and with over 300 available, the 87s have got to go. They're all priced to move. And today, new Cavaliers, $600 cash back or finance as low as 1.9. New Celebrities, $700 cash back or 1.9 financing. 1.9 financing, rebates to $700. See us today, 1.9 at Merritt Chevrolet, I-94 and Century Avenue, across from 3M in St. Paul.
The Canterbury Cup. Last year, it was won by a Minnesota-owned horse named Smile, who went on to become a national champion. And who will win the Canterbury Cup this year? You will. Just come out for the big race Sunday, August 23rd, and you'll receive your very own Canterbury Cup, the first in a collector series. The Canterbury Cup. This year, everybody will get one.
These airwaves belong to the public. So what we do is very simply give the public an opportunity to use the airwaves that belong to them in the first place.
We think that the audience for what we do has been out there all the time, and we were the first ones to come along and give it to them. This is not a right, it's a privilege, and we'll never take it for granted.
Twin Cities professional and amateur athletes turned out in force today, all for the Dino Cicerelli Family Fun Day. Hundreds of people joined the North Stars hockey player in events like trout fishing and volleyball. All of this to raise money in the fight against multiple sclerosis.
You know, I have a bone to pick with you, Walt. You said that it was going to start cooling off, that the humidity was going to start dropping. It was still warm out there today.
Well, you've been in here a long time. Go back outside, then talk to me.
Okay.
It's getting quite nice out there.
Right.
I feel sorry for anybody who tuned into that Harmonic Convergence piece. They probably thought they'd hit a time warp and landed in California in 1967 or something. A little weird. Peace, brothers. Actually, there's a phenomenon in the atmosphere called convergence. Forget the harmonic part, and that's what caused all our rain and conflagration last night. Today, we had something called divergence in the atmosphere, which cooled things down all the way to 79 degrees, Deb. That's 10 degrees cooler than yesterday. And our low last night was 68, and the airport had 67/100 of an inch, quite a bit more in other parts of town. The days are getting shorter, but the rain is not getting any lesser. interesting grammar. Inch and a half was typical over some portions of the Twin Cities last night, including our own bucket up on the roof here. Some of those storms, as they move southeastwards, produce up to 85-mile-an-hour wind gusts in southern Minnesota. It was a pretty frisky fracas. And right now, we do have some scattered light rain showers, and there's some convergence of the air into some showers over near Eau Claire and the Menominee area and up towards Bloomer. But most of that is moving east and dissipating, so we have 1 or 2 isolated showers left, and that's it. Last night, the computer said, a lot of rain will fall in this area, so let's see if they were right. What happened in Wisconsin and northern Illinois today? Well, they had tornado watches through this region. Till 10 o'clock tonight, some real heavy thunderstorms are starting to develop now through eastern Iowa and southern Wisconsin. Take a look at the radar at Neenah, Wisconsin, and there it is, a heavy system. Had a tornado reported dipping down at Lake Michigan earlier today. 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds in some of these cells and very, very heavy rain, quite a bit of lightning. We were looking at the lightning live a little while ago. We taped it, and you can see these little dots appearing on the screen. This is live. They were hitting around 90 to 95 strokes every minute. So no place to be playing golf or out on a boat down to our southeast. Looking at the last 12 hours of the cloud pattern, you can see this large, messy area, is the best way to call it. It continues to move eastward, more thunderstorms developing rapidly to east, and clearing and cooler conditions moving in. It was quite brisk out to the west, 36 degrees this morning in Jackson, Wyoming. Snow, remember that? Up to 4 inches of it in the higher elevations of the Wyoming mountains. Today, high pressure dominates the area, as it will tomorrow, but it's what we call a dirty high. A lot of clouds and some showers will break out. Temperatures definitely cooler, upper 60s to 70s to lower 80s through Minnesota on Monday. The dew points will be quite a bit lower, as they were today, Debbie. And if you were out at this afternoon at the Wood Lake Nature Reserve, I think you would find it's really quite pleasant. It is sunny for the most part, 79 degrees. The dew point, which yesterday was 75, at this time is now down to 63. The humidity has dropped to 58%. The winds are west-northwest at 17, and the barometer's 29, 72, and rising. Tonight, then, partly cloudy, a few isolated showers in the evening hours, otherwise really rather nice and coolish, 57 for a low. Monday, variably cloudy, a couple of isolated showers and thunder showers here and there, otherwise some sun and 77 degrees. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, 55 for lows. Tuesday, partly cloudy and some scattered thunderstorms, once again high around 78. The week ahead, we don't see anything frightening coming our way. The harmonic convergence isn't affecting the weather any. Temperatures will rise a little bit, and we might have 1 or 2 more scattered thunderstorms. So anyways, it was kind of fun to go back to 1968. And
it was. Yeah, we like that.
Okay, now back to the present. The Minnesota Strikers still need at least $170,000 to play this coming season, and they have only a few days left to raise it. Yesterday's fundraiser by fans at a hotel in Shakopee raised $9,100 for the indoor soccer team. Well, this afternoon, the Strikers office estimates that it has raised about $330,000. They've received $230,000 from pledges and $100,000 from salary concessions by the players. The Strikers say Super America kicked in $30,000 yesterday, but no other corporate sponsors have come forward this weekend.
Well, let's hope they make it. Twins, boy, they don't need any SOS. They're just pounding on Seattle.
And they're doing it early. Again today, early knockout punch. Good. First inning. Why waste time? They wiped them out today again. We'll talk about that and other stuff in a minute.
Here, Caleb. The biggest news round these parts is Pepperidge Farm's new American collection. Big, generous cookies simply bursting with lumpy, bumpy personality. Whopping chunks of rich chocolate and nuts are hidden beneath each lump and bump. My favorites are the Chesapeake and the Sausalito. Hey, they've got more personality than most folks we know.
Here at Towsley Ford
and Towsley Subaru,
our hail damage sale continues.
We sold hundreds of the over 800 cars and trucks damaged by hail.
And still hundreds more to sell, new and used.
Don't let this chance slip by. A little hail damage means a lot of money saved for you.
Hail damage prices plus 1.9% financing.
And factory cash back up to $1,500.
Hail damage prices are clearly marked on everything at Towsley Ford
and Towsley Subaru, White Bear Lake.
You're working on your American dream, 'cause you want it to last forever. And if something is starting to show the years, you want to make it better.
Give your home new Anderson windows, 'cause when it comes to your home, nothing but the best will do.
Come home to quality, come home to Anderson.
Available at Pem Millwork, Hiawatha Lumber, Window Warehouse, and Southside Lumber Company.
Amber's $1.99 jumbo breakfast. 2 farm fresh eggs, 2 buttermilk pancakes, 2 country sausage links, and 2 strips of hardwood cured bacon, only $1.99. Embers, big taste, small check.
The Twins 5, Seattle 1. Lefty Frank Viola won his 14th of the year against just 7 losses, and he chalked up his 13th win in his last 16 decisions, going all the way back to May. Viola went 8 innings, then gave way to Jeff Reardon, who faced 2 batters to close things out in the 9th inning. Now, the Twins came within 1 double of tying a club record of 7 doubles hit in 1 game. Gary Gaetti got the second one in the 1st inning here when the Twins scored 3 runs. Lombardozzi got the first one. Herbeck walked, and both scored on Gaetti's poke. Now, Gene Larkin hit the 3rd double of the inning, scoring Gaetti with the Twins' 3rd run of the game as they continued to pound enemy pitchers in the opening frame. Frank Viola struck out 5, gave up 5 hits before he tired in the 9th inning after throwing 125 pitches. The Twins went for the record for doubles in 1 game in the bottom of the 8th. Gaetti led off with his 2nd one of the game, moved to 3rd on an infield ground out. He stayed at 3rd while the next batter went out, and then Tom Brunansky came along, and he got the 6th double of the game, making it 6 out of the 8 hits they got today. Jeff Reardon then finished up the game, and it went down to the books as a 5-1 win today. Frank Viola talked to us after the game.
The thing is, when I was 2-5 early in the season, I still felt like I was throwing the ball well. And the bottom line in pitching is just feeling good about yourself, and it doesn't matter what your record is because the confidence is still going to be there. Breaks might not have been there early, but they're sure here now, and it just makes all the difference in the world.
It looked like it was going to be easy for you after
Isn't it fun to win, folks? Frankie getting the pie today. He was the winning pitcher. Okay, let's take a look at all the scores in the American League. In the 7th inning, Oakland leads California 7-6. Detroit beat Kansas City and helped the Twins there 10-6. Toronto 6, the White Sox 4. Cleveland shut out the Yankees. It was Boston 12, Texas 2. And Paul Molitor got his 31st game of hitting. His hitting streak still alive. They beat Baltimore 6-3, Milwaukee did. The Oakland A's are known for their power, but it was the Angels who used a long ball early today in Anaheim. Jack Howell's 2-run blast here in the 3rd off Steve Ontiveros. And that was in the 3rd inning of that game, which still is not completed. And Paul Molitor used some of his power today in Baltimore, a double to right field in the 3rd that helped keep that hitting streak alive. He now has hit in 31 consecutive games. In the National League, Philadelphia beat St. Louis 4-3. And they were in the football preseason, so we got a football score here. The Mets 23, the Cubs 10. Montreal beat Pittsburgh 10-7. Cincinnati over San Diego in a shutout. L.A. San Francisco scoreless in the 6th. And Houston beat Atlanta today by the score of 6-2. Well, the New York Mets avoided a sweep of the Cubans today in grand fashion. Darryl Strawberry's opposite field homer helped the Mets clobber the Twins 23-10. Strawberry 4 extra base hits today as he went for the double cycle. You know, in the preseason of football, almost all coaches have a bit of Frankenstein in them. They want to experiment with the unknown, namely the rookies, of course, while giving the veterans a taste of a real conflict and a real game. The Vikings had mixed reviews after losing to New Orleans last night, 23-17. The Mets looked good on offense early. Wade Wilson completed 9 of 15 for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. This strike to Anthony Carter, then coming up a TD to Leo Lewis. At halftime, the Vikings had built a 17-3 lead.
We've got such great skill people. Give us time to throw and catch the ball. That's the whole key. So they did a fine job up front.
But the defense was another matter in the second half, especially the Saints' opening drive. Dalton Hillard went through 3 Vikings, and you can't say they weren't warned.
This was the most important series of the game, that they would come out of the locker room and their coach would be raising hell with them about their sloppy play, and then the local people were all fired up, and if we stopped that drive, that we'd take the wind out of their sails and we could win the game. And And they went right down and scored and controlled the ball for 7.5 minutes or something like that. That was a disappointment.
We go out there to win football games. There's some things we could have done. We could have made a field goal at least, or made a touchdown down there on that one drive. But we had some young people in the ball game. We played rookie quarterbacks 2.5 quarters. We played rookie tackles in a long time, which is almost unheard of for a first game to even do that. And
Game 2 in the preseason next Saturday here against Indianapolis. Channel 4 will do the game.
All right, better result. Thank you very much, Tony. We'll be back tonight at 10 o'clock. Have a good evening.
The Channel 4 editorial on the need for a new park at Lake Minnetonka with Ron Henry.
Notice, if you will, how at City Lakes the entire shoreline is open to the public. Everyone is welcome. While at suburban Lake Minnetonka, nearly the opposite is true. On these shores, privacy is the general rule. The difference in circumstance, of course, is that the City Lakes are surrounded by parks, because years ago, someone with great vision set land aside for public use and enjoyment. Yet even those dreamers couldn't imagine the growth of population into what then was only rural countryside. So, planners passed up earlier opportunities to establish a large park here, before Lake Minnetonka became one of the area's most popular recreation sites.
What we have instead are a couple of publicly owned islands and a few small municipal parks, like this one of just 3 acres in Mound. But it's not too late to correct this short-sightedness.
A few large parcels of land with beautiful vistas of Lake Minnetonka have recently been identified for development of a major regional park. It's an idea we strongly endorse. The Hennepin Park Reserve District wants to purchase about 300 acres connecting Halstead and Smithtown Bays. One side is heavily forested. The other includes the lakefront property of wrestling promoter Vern Gagne, whose home would be preserved as a park facility. The new park would be small enough to add controlled lake access for only 100 boaters, yet large enough to eventually handle up to 600,000 visitors a year.
The state has earmarked $6 million for the proposed Lake Minnetonka Regional Park, but its fate lies with the city of Minnetrista, which in effect has the power to veto the plan, and where not all the local officials fully appreciate the park's value and significance. We hope that opposition will fade with broadened understanding, and that this long overdue park will be developed in its entirety to best preserve the magic of Lake Minnetonka for everyone and for generations to come. I'm Ron Hanberg.
We offer equal time for an opposing view.
I've come for silver. Of course, he'd want new Amico Silver. It's high time folks had something better than regular unleaded. You sure know your gasoline. Oh, friend, my car knows.
For better performance than regular unleadeds, try pure Amico Silver.
Grandpa, who was that masked man?
I don't know, son, but his car knows.
Well, Silver! Away! Around here, raisins are big business. So when Kellogg started putting 2 scoops of raisins in the Raisin Bran, I knew we had problems. It's simple. The law of raisins. You put 2 scoops in each box. You sell more boxes. Bam! Raisin shortage. I respect Kellogg, but that's a lot of raisins. You know what I tell people? You got a backyard? Plant raisins.
Fiber-rich Kellogg's Raisin Bran. 2 scoops is a lot of raisins.
We can tell you all Volkswagens are German.
Willendorf is free delivery on all major appliances.